Hi, welcome to Jackie's Hand of Horror. On this episode today, we're talking about burlesque. And it's actually, I think, one of our favorite subjects. It's amazing. If you've never seen burlesque, you gotta go. So today, we're starting with our thumb and our movie review. We've got two films here. Also, I want to say today with us is Ray
Hello.
and Tanya.
Hello.
So on our first movie review, as you know, we only review trailers, and this one is called Burlesque, The Heart of the Glitter Tribe, and it's a fairly new film. It's actually on Netflix. It's 2017, and it's a documentary about the burlesque world in Portland, more specifically. Did you guys see the trailer, and what do you think?
Yeah, I saw the trailer. I thought it was interesting. I think burlesque artists are very interesting and very creative, and so I think it'd be really interesting to see this. The thing that I thought was cool was how they had male burlesque performers also involved in the documentary, and I'd never actually seen any perform ever, so that was interesting to me.
Yeah, Rachel.
I watched the trailer and I mean for me, you guys know this, but the listeners probably don't. I perform in burlesque shows a lot. I'm not a burlesque performer myself. I mean, I don't do burlesque, but I'm the variety. I'm a puppeteer. And yeah, for me, it felt very much like home. It's the people I've met, the backstage vibe, that it was all very, very much represented in the trailer there.
Yeah, I loved it. Well, the trailer was like Tanya said, the men. It's very cool to see men in burlesque. I've been going to shows for a few years, and I've actually gone and seen Rachel perform with the puppets, and I I just really loved this documentary, and if I had not seen any burlesque before the documentary, I would absolutely go find a show. So that's it on that one. I give that one a total thumbs up.
Me too, I'd see that.
Yeah, me threesies.
Excellent. The other film that we looked at, the trailer, is the 2000 film called Burlesque, and it stars Cher, you're laughing, and Christina Aguilera. And I just can't believe that I wasn't aware of this film. I mean, with such big names, but apparently the film, I guess it didn't go very big, or I was really damn busy in 2010.
It's a bad film. That's you didn't hear about it because the trailer makes it look good, but you watch the film and you're like, what?
Oh, really?
Yeah, no. The trailer makes this film look a million times more entertaining than it actually winds up being when you watch it. My opinion. Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I was startled by how good the movie looked through the trailer.
I thought it was a really good trailer, so I couldn't believe I'd never really heard of the film. So thank you, Rachel. I'm not going to bother now.
I mean, if you just watch the music pieces, it's kind of fun, but it's like, as for the rest of it, the movie is like they took every possible trope and just threw it into about a performing movie, and none of it's in the trailer. That's what kills me. It's like, yeah, the trailer makes it look like really just almost like Cabaret,
Yeah.
the movie Cabaret, but not with Nazis. Excuse me, but yeah, it's the actual, like, the plot. There's a big corporate developer threatening to tear down their theater, and Christina Aguilera's character is clearly in love with the cute bartender in the bowler hat, but there's this rich guy who's also trying to buy her love, and yeah, it's just a mess. It's a big old mess.
interesting. Interesting. Yeah, the trailer to me looked like one of those fun performance style movies, like someone with talent tries to make it big and gets cast in this huge, and wins out in the end.
Yeah.
And I like those kind of movies, even if they're cheesy. I think they're fun. And that's what the trailer makes it look like. So I would probably see it based on that.
But not now. Not after Rachel's review.
But based on just...
Well, I mean, no,
Yeah.
Yeah, if I were just watching the trailer, I'd watch the movie too. It's probably why I watched the movie in the first place.
Yeah.
I probably saw the trailer and like, oh, that looks like fun. Also, I have to say this particular movie is a standing joke amongst the Seattle burlesque people I know. Because we had someone come to one of our shows and write in afterwards, very upset and angry because she's seen the movie Burlesque,
Oh.
and our show was nothing like that.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Well, you know what I was gonna say about this trailer, just like Tanya said, it was just a fun, feel good kind of trailer. It looks like one of those kind of movies, like Cabaret, but it was not representative of any burlesque that I've seen
Right. It didn't look anything like any
Yeah,
I've
no.
ever seen
ever.
or ever heard of.
Honest, I'd rather go to an actual burlesque show than one of those shows. It was just too polished, but it looked like a fun movie. Um, but yeah, that's what trailers do. They sometimes mislead you.
Just like if you watch it, fast forward through all the dialogue and get to the music numbers, and then it's fine.
Yeah. Oh well. Okay, so
Just a thought.
I'm gonna give it half a thumb, which is pretty useless because if you only have half a thumb, it doesn't really work. So I'll just give it a half a thumb.
I think I'm just gonna say based on the trailer, I would see it. I do like Cher, and I like Christina Aguilera's voice, and so I probably would say, and I like big musical numbers. Not always, but for the most
Yeah.
part. And yeah, it doesn't look like burlesque. It looks like like a stage musical style numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different.
Anyway, that's enough time on these two films. Jeez, time to move on. We're back, and this is our four finger section, our idea section. You know, I never did come up with a good name for this. We've called it the dark arts. We've called it like Martha Stewart with a hatchet. I mean, just kind of different
Both
ideas.
of there are apt descriptors of me as a person, so
Well, I think they work for a lot of the things that we talk about. But today we're talking with Miss Thrustmore again, because she's just so full of information. She's done a lot of costuming. She's done it for a living, and she creates costumes for her own acts in burlesque and for others. So today's little tips and hints are about how to get some materials together, where to find things to get your costuming, and not just for burlesque, but any
for
costuming.
cosplay for Halloween, because
Yes.
you know Halloween is the most important holiday. Sorry, Christmas lovers, we win.
I agree.
Hell, dress up for Christmas. I'm all for costumes
I'm
all the
into
time.
right?
The Goodwill. The Goodwill is one of my favorite resources when my budget is tight, and it always is, because I'm always developing something. But you can find bits and pieces that sort of look like the image in your mind, and you can glue, like for burlesque specifically, you can go find yourself a nice bra and panty set at a discount store, whatever, and then you glue rhinestones to it, or you can find appliques on Etsy and glue or sew, whatever your skill level
Yeah.
is. Embellishment. Find a base garment, embellish it is the easiest way to costume, period. If you want to start from scratch and you don't have any skill set, hire somebody that does.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know, that's the easiest way. And have a glue gun will travel.
Now, if somebody just doesn't want to make costumes at all, I mean, are there's people that
There's
do
always
that.
people, and it depends on what kind of costuming do you want. Is it for a comic convention? Is it Halloween? Are you a burlesque performer?
Yeah.
Because a costume that you have to move in and is meant to be taken off is different mechanics than a costume meant to stay on for hours and hours.
That's true.
So
Yes.
if you need a burlesque costume, go to a burlesque costumer. If you want cosplay costuming, maybe find someone that is their skill set is specific to cosplay. Don't ever assume that just because somebody sews, they know how to do everything. That's a surefire way to irritate the crap out of them. And be ready to have a realistic budget if you are going to pay somebody. It's
Yeah.
not just materials, it's hours and hours of time. My last costume I constructed, it was 30 hours of construction
For one
costume.
Wow.
But I'm also kind of a nut job, and I made individual feathers out of fabric. It was a flying monkey. He needed wings. He had to fly.
Well, of course he needed wings.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there's just some things to think about if you want to get into burlesque or cosplay or anything. There's options for everybody. YouTube is a great resource. If you don't know how to do something, YouTube it.
Yeah, and if you want ideas, Pinterest.
You want ideas, Pinterest, like, I have to stay away because then 8 hours later, I don't know what my life is anymore.
Yeah,
I don't even have an account anymore.
For the same reason.
Yeah, I do have 3,000 images saved on my iPad and my phone, inspiration photos, like, that's a great concept,
Yeah, like you have time to go through them.
I have them saved in a folder, and someday, many years from now, when I've retired because my body won't let me do things anymore, I'll have all these inspiration photos, I guess. It'll be my one woman Pinterest. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent. Stop me.
Well, yeah. So for creating costume, I agree with you. Goodwill is number one because you can buy things, especially sometimes you get them for half price. And
yard sales too.
Oh, yeah.
Yard sales. I've gotten wedding gowns for $2 because people wanted to get rid of them. And, one of the fun things about the costuming that I do costuming for burlesque and drag performers and stage. I got to do costumes for a drag Golden Girl show a few years ago. Like, I do the fun stuff. Mm-hmm. And I forgot where I was going with that.
That's my job.
Oh my gosh, I digress. But anyway, let me show you one of my favorite costuming experiences ever. Myself and about 30 other burlesque performers got a casting call from another burlesque performer to do a Modest Mouse music video for the song Ground Walks Time in a Box. So about 30 of us were cast, and the information that I had was that I was going to be a soulless demon. So like typecast, right? I always wanted to be in a music video, and they typecast me as a demon. Great. Anyway, the production team was amazing, and we had an idea of what to bring with us, but they also had all these bags of thrift store goodies, and they're like, well, dig through and, find some things. So I composed a costume in less than 5 minutes that was in a music video.
That's awesome.
Ground Walks Time in a Box at 1 minute 19 seconds. That's me.
And so we can see that.
Yes.
I will put that.
And I'm at the end of the video too. And
yeah,
that was a fun day.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Well, I'll put that at the end too, and all the other links. I don't need to put a link to Goodwill, you people. You can figure that one out.
Well, and it doesn't have to be Goodwill. People have issues with Goodwill. I get it. There's local thrift stores.
There's lots of thrift stores.
A thrift store is the operative thing here. You're looking for a thrift store.
And you have to be patient. You don't go out and start building a costume the day before you need it.
No, and if you have the ability to draw, sketch out your ideas. If you can't sketch your ideas, go look for inspiration photos so you have some sort of visual representation of what you're looking for. And then you don't end up buying pieces that you don't need and wasting money. Because ask me how I know all about that.
Hence the garage cleanup.
I still have some of those pieces to this day, and we kind of have this rule: if you come over, you have to leave with stuff, but not you. You're
okay,
special.
thank you. I am getting a ticket.
No,
to your
burlesque
show,
people that come over for the first time, they go home with their costume pieces. Like, take it, please. There's so much.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Gosh, this is great information, and what a great episode. I really appreciate your sticking around for the second segment here.
Well, I live here. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah,
so.
right. Well, I gotta go.
I like it here. All my stuff is here.
Yeah. Right. Well, then I'll see you next month, and thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
For our middle finger interview today, we've got two burlesque dancers that one of them I know personally, and one of them I've never met, but I'm really looking forward to meeting her. She does a show called Gods and Monsters, and her name is Miss Thrustmore. And the other one is Mona de Plume, and I've seen her shows, or I've seen one of her shows, and she does this really trippy gender bender thing. Tanya, you know Mona.
Yes, I've actually seen her perform. My husband Josh and I saw her do Lord of the Rings burlesque where she dressed as Gimli from Lord of the Rings,
Oh no.
and a full beard and everything, and it was so interesting. I'd never seen anything like that before. It was cool how she did drag burlesque, basically, and character burlesque.
Yeah, it's a mental mess up. It's very disturbing. Rachel, have you ever seen Mona de Plume or Miss Thrustmore?
I don't think I have. No.
Okay. Well, she did. When we were doing our filming of Monos Returns a couple years ago, a few of us went to her show. They did a MST themed show in Portland, and she did both Torgo and Rosdower, and it was deeply disturbing and sexy.
Torgo burlesque sounds disturbing and sexy.
Right?
Yes, awkward feels.
Right.
Well, hey, on today's Jackie's Hand of Horror, we're talking burlesque, and horror burlesque to be more specific. Sitting here in her living room of Miss Thrustmore, and I'm not going to tell you what I'm looking around here at, because, you know, imagination is a pretty powerful thing. But
and it's all Star Wars toys. Don't be fooled. It's not that cool.
I see plenty of Star Wars. God, that's almost a Torgo hat right there.
Almost.
Oh my goodness.
There's actually a lot of little cool secrets here and there. Like you'll see Freddy
Oh
Krueger.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
I walked right in. I didn't look around. Anyhow,
There's a
we're
lot
here.
to see.
Today, we want to talk to you about burlesque, and
Okay.
and I understand that you do horror burlesque. Can you tell us something about what you do in your shows?
Well, no, you have to come see them. That's how it works.
I'm going. We already talked about that. I am
well,
coming.
specifically for me, I can talk about my main horror act, and I dubbed it Freddy versus Jason. It's the one act my partner and I actually get to be on stage together for the first time.
Okay.
And basically, I have amorous feelings towards Freddy Krueger, and maybe act upon that alone. And rule of horror: if you have sex, you have to die. So here comes Jason,
Exactly.
and he's pretty upset. Like, really, Freddy? Like, really? It's hilarious.
Okay.
Hilarious, and yeah.
I could go for that. And then, gosh, what'd you say? Grunge and Grind?
Grunge and Grind Productions is my production company, which I do. I produce live burlesque shows. Eventually want to get into producing music. My partner and I are both musicians. He's been a working
okay.
drummer for 20 years. He's amazing. I sing. We band,
Yeah.
just we do a lot of things, and why not have a production company to produce great things?
That's right. I mean, this is the time.
Yeah, it's the gig economy, man.
It is for independent projects and
Yeah.
things like of this nature. Absolutely.
And I mean, I'm 42, so 20 something years ago in Palm Springs, like I was promoting bands, getting them gigs,
Okay.
managing, doing press kits. Like, didn't know what the hell I was doing. Learned as I went along. Because I'm great at networking. I'm great with people. And I'm really great at, like, getting people excited about stuff. So
yeah, like your
Yeah.
shows. And you were telling me earlier that the burlesque thing, you hadn't even, it wasn't really on your radar
No,
before,
not
like,
at all.
5-6 years ago?
The costuming work I was doing was steampunk. I had just, I was getting ready to do my line in a steampunk fashion show and stuff like burlesque was not on the radar until my partner got invited to photograph a show, because he's a photographer as well.
Okay.
And I went along, and there was Mona de Plume, and my mind was melted, and my life has never been the same. Thank Goddess. Just
Yeah.
yeah. It's been wild and beautiful and crazy, heartbreaking sometimes. I mean, there's bad things too. We're human beings doing creative work, and
Yes.
it's tough out there.
Yeah, putting heart and soul into it.
Yeah, and the basic consumer doesn't realize what goes into how much prep it takes. Like, 4 to 6 minutes on stage, it can be months of prep, sometimes years for some performers and signature acts, and and you're always constantly evolving. It's not just fun and glamour. Like my life, the fun and glamour part that you see on social media, whatever, that's 5% of the whole.
Right.
The rest of it is I live in yoga pants and hoodies covered in paint. I never wear makeup. I'm the opposite of glam.
Isn't that fairly normal?
For a lot. I do know some folks that they are, bless them, they keep it up all the time. That's who they are. That's how they live.
Sure.
Cool. I'm just too lazy and tired. Just
well, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I'm up to my elbows in feathers and fur at making things for people for Comic-Cons, and got to do a dress for someone that was on America's Got Talent. Like I had 8 hours sequin dress, and I did it. Oh my God, I'm still floored that I did that.
Wow. I mean, you have to have some of those talents to be in burlesque. Either that or a lot of money. To hire people to make your clothing.
There's that, or there's getting really well acquainted with a glue gun if you don't have sewing skills. I mean, just there's a lot of clever tricks. Like I love going to thrift stores.
But boy, you want it to hold together because
you get the industrial glue sticks. There's different grades of glue.
Gotcha.
No, like when people go through like Rose City School of Burlesque, for example, there was a costuming class, and the costuming teacher, Ivana Mandalay, she's not a professional costumer, but what the beauty of her teaching is, her skill level is above a new beginner, but she learns through her journey, so she's able to take people that don't have skill and like, hey, this is what I did, and her costumes are gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I used to give her crap for hot gluing things. Like, tisk, that's not how you're supposed to do it. And then several years later, you got into a crunch, like, and I'm messaging like, I'm gluing things. You can laugh at me. That's okay. I told you so.
You got to get it done, and it's
you got to do what
appearance.
you got to do.
Yeah.
But sourcing from thrift stores, especially in cosplay, even thrift store cosplay.
Yeah, I mean,
you can do that with burlesque.
Incredible.
The most important thing is cut your tags out.
Cut your tags out.
Cut out the tags of everything.
So, But your shows, tell us about some of your shows. You've got a show coming up. You've got
Campora Burlesque.
Okay.
It's number 2, and I'm featuring some brand new, newish performers. So we're going to call it Campora 2, The New Blood.
The New Blood.
The New Blood.
Oh, okay.
And basically, the last show, the way it worked out is everybody had an act themed to a horror movie. We had Halloween 2 represented Mona de Plume, who you're interviewing as well.
Yes.
She did Silence of the Lambs, and God, it's so good.
Wow.
With her permission, I'll send you a video that's only for you.
Okay.
I did my Freddy versus Jason that I talked about before. We had Creature from the Black Lagoon. Loxy Arcane and her husband did the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. So good. So clever. Their act is so clever. And since it's a silent black and white movie, they are black and white as well.
Oh.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
And they use a romantic song that I love, and it's cute and it's clever and sexy, and which burlesque can be all those things: cute, clever, sexy.
Yes.
Sometimes it's political. It's whatever it is for you. I don't even know how to articulate it. Like performers decide, this is what I want to do, and this is what they do.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Total empowerment.
I mean, from the first show I saw like 5 years ago, I was just absolutely hooked.
Yeah.
But
I mean, as a
you can
performer,
nerds or book lovers or anything.
well, as a performer, I would like people to know that, again, that glamour on stage is a really small fraction. You are editing music. You are doing social media. Sometimes people are learning how to create graphics for themselves. You're costuming, you're choreographing. You are doing the job of 12 people. And I come from a background, like I've worked on productions before. I worked for a place called Copycats in Palm Springs where we had celebrity impersonators. Like our Michael Jackson was the Michael Jackson that you see in Scary Movie. Moss is his last name. Oh, my brain. Sorry, I'm nervous.
That's okay. That's okay.
But yeah, that's my back. I ran the box office, and our choreographer is the gentleman that taught Madonna how to Vogue, Luis Camacho.
Wow.
You'll see him in Truth or Dare and on her Blonde Ambition tour. I learned incredible things from incredible people, and I'm still doing that right here in Portland, Oregon, / Vancouver, Washington.
You funneled all these talents and skills into
this.
Burlesque.
I have a history in graphic design and costume design, and like I'm intensely creative. My parents were wonderful and fostered all of it. And here I am, and now I get to make money doing all of the things that I love, and then I get to teach other people how to do it.
That's really amazing.
Like, how freaking cool is that?
And we're going to share those links.
Yeah.
About the school.
Yes,
and
Rose City School of Burlesque and burlesquepdx.com. And Zorna Phoenix is responsible for all of that. Zora Phoenix has been producing burlesque shows in Portland for 12 years, 13 years? I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. Years and years and years.
And then you have a show coming up in July.
The Camp Horror Burlesque.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
We're doing Camp Horror 2, The New Blood, and that is July 26th at Crush Bar, 1400 Southeast Morrison Boulevard. It's on the Crush calendar already.
Good.
The media is not up. We're currently casting. But by the first week of July, you can start looking for our media at Grunge and Grind Productions Facebook page, Miss Thrustmore on Facebook. Like,
Perfect.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And Eventbrite is where we sell our tickets, and you can always search for Burlesque on Eventbrite too, and not just get tickets to my shows, but other shows in town.
Yeah, the Northwest is amazing for
We
burlesque.
are bursting with glitter here.
It's incredible.
It is. And it's Seattle, it's Eugene, it's everywhere.
And burlesque is so empowering.
It is.
It's for women and men and any gender. It's for everybody.
Well, burlesque, essentially, a long time ago, it was satire, making fun of the rich. That's what feather boas are about.
Oh, is that how it began?
We were making fun of the rich. So burlesque, in its essence, is satire. And there are two classifications. There's classic burlesque, which Dita Von Teese, Dirty Martini. These are people you can Google. They are glamorous. They are beautiful. They are amazing. Great choreography, big production. There's also neo-burlesque, which is what I do. And there's also high-end neo-burlesque performers, but the difference is classic is, I think of it as a wink and a smile and a tease and a blush and a tickle and, very classic, and the music is classic, and it's evocative of another time, and it's great. It's so good. And then neo-burlesque is everything else. It's the cosplay burlesque. It's the political stuff. It's I produce horror, but my mainstay as a performer is I do comedy. I am a physical comedian. I grew up on Carol Burnett and things like that. So I'm performing in a show at the end of the month called As Not Seen on TV. The premise of the show is we're celebrating infomercial products minus the slap chop. And I'm bringing in a Dana Carvey skit from SNL in 1985, the Chop and Broccoli song.
Okay.
People can Google it.
I
should be working for Google. I'm a Google ambassador now. There, it's a thing. It's my love of broccoli and the slap chop, and it's going to be ridiculous. And I'm headlining the show, so I'm super freaking excited about that.
And when is that?
That one is, oh my gosh, June 30th at 10 p.m. at the Funhouse Lounge.
So it's coming right up.
You can get tickets on Eventbrite.
Oh my gosh.
On Facebook, it's As Not Seen on TV. There's a page.
Okay.
Go get some tickets.
Well, I hope
we've
you
got
get some
the slap
people.
chop, the Thigh Master. I can't wait for the Thigh Master.
Yeah.
It's going to be zany, campy, crazy, let it all out fun, and I can't wait.
How cool. Well,
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you.
So fun.
Gosh. Well, I hope that some of our listeners will come to that show.
Me
and if
too.
they do, they need to come up to you and tell
they can
you.
introduce themselves. I want to know, did you hear me on Jackie's podcast? Because how cool is that?
Yeah.
And,
I want to know.
I know, right? I'm always curious where people heard of me, my productions, and a lot of it is my media when I'm selling shows. My audiences are mostly composed of people that have never seen a burlesque show. And they're attracted by
cool.
my posters, whatever.
Okay.
I do great artwork.
Great. Well, you're going to have to share some of that,
Yes,
too.
I will definitely share some.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
it was
you.
such a pleasure coming to your home and seeing all your cool little stuff around here. I Star Wars. I see what looks like a Torgo hat. And Oh, an awesome old radio. I could stay here for a while, but
My partner and I have a collectability problem, I guess you could
oh,
say.
I've seen worse. Believe me.
We are in the process of actually cleaning out the garage,
Gotcha.
yarding out the house. It's like you can walk around, but it's not as aesthetically pleasing as I'd like. There's things everywhere.
Yes, and you're a mom, so
No, we can't even blame it on the kids. The kids are great. It's mom and
Right.
dad.
oh well.
It's us. We do
you
it.
and your toys.
This is our crap, not theirs.
It was such a pleasure meeting you.
It was
Thank
so
you.
much fun meeting you.
And I'll see you soon at one of these shows. Well,
Yes.
the one at the end of July.
Yes,
I'll be
because
there.
I'm giving you a ticket. And if you're in town, you should be there.
That's right. So if anybody else is coming to that July 28th show at Crush, I will be there.
Yay.
That's my plan. And I'll be back from Southern California, and I'll come see you.
I'll be debuting my Exorcist act. I'm so excited.
Oh, I can't wait. All right. We'll talk to you soon then.
Yeah.
Well, we're back. Now, for our second interview today, I'm here at Mona de Plume's house. Wow, what a cool house, too. Wish I could show you some of this stuff. Pretty awesome. Mona is a performer, burlesque, and we're going to talk today about her shows, what she does. Hey, Mona.
Hey, Jackie, it's so good to be here. I'm so glad you came.
Yeah, me too. It was, I was up in Seattle for a screening of Monos Returns, and then coming back and and being able to come to your house and go see Miss Thrustmore as well today is such a treat. What a great way to go home.
It's a great community of performers that we have. We're always willing to talk about what we do and spread the gospel of glitter, as we call it.
Well, the Northwest specifically seems to have, such a rich community of burlesque performers and all different types of I know what your shtick is, but you got to tell the audience here.
Well, I tend to, I'm a neo-burlesquer, which means I'm not your classic gown and glove girl. I have gone in that direction on occasion with the fans and the boas, but really my comfort is in comedy and pop culture.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So I really feel when I present a character that the audience is familiar with, that the audience connects right away to my performance and to me as a performer. Because that's what we strive to do when we're on stage, is we strive to connect with the audience. We want them invested in our performance. We want them to remember us. And so using pop culture is a great way to do that. I'm sure there are people out there who cannot see Bob Ross without thinking of me.
I can't see Rosdower anymore without thinking of you.
Exactly. 3 years ago, you were gracious enough to come speak at my first production.
That's where we met, face to face.
Where we met, which was a Mystery Science Theater-based burlesque show called Booby Sign. And I brought my Rosdower act as well as my Torgo Master act.
You sure did. Oh my God. I tell you, I've never seen anything like that. And it was sexy and really disturbing. You almost feel guilty you won. I'm guessing that was your goal because you accomplished it.
Sexy and disturbing is always my goal.
Wow.
I'm either going to ruin your childhood or the creative process is my favorite process of burlesque. There's so many great aspects of burlesque, positive body image, sense of community, learning a sense of yourself, having something for you. But the creative process for me is what just drives me. I've been lucky enough to become an instructor at the Rose City School of Burlesque, and as well as Miss Thrustmore. She's an instructor there too, and I teach act creation and what goes into an act. I talk about the fundamentals of creating an act, which is your character, your concept, your costume, music, and choreography. But I always say that the core fundamental to any act, what makes a good act a great act, is how you include the audience in that act.
Yeah, Scarlett was talking about something about that connection.
Absolutely. You want to break that fourth wall. You want to give the audience something they weren't expecting. Those are always my favorite types of acts to do, is where you think it's going to go one way and it zigs when you thought it was going to zag, and then all of a sudden it's something completely different that you weren't expecting.
I've seen elements of that in every show I've been to. I believe I've been to about 5 shows. They've all been different, but there's always those twists and those surprises. The supreme confidence of the performers on stage is the thing. It's one of the things that just impresses me so much. It's so empowering.
The confidence thing is so weird, because I'm such an introvert outside of burlesque and being on stage, and there are things that I'll do on stage which give me more confidence. Like, I'm not going to wear heels over 3 inches. I'm always going to be wearing dance tights to hold my thighs in place. And it's just those small little things that I do to help build my own confidence so I can show that confidence on stage. Mm-hmm. But yeah, when you're up there, it's like no other feeling. Any aches and pains that you have melt away, any stresses that you have melt away, and it's just that 5 minutes of salvation in the spotlight. It is my church.
Yeah. I wish I'd known about it earlier in life. I would totally be into this.
There are so many age groups that do burlesque. We just recently had our Burlesque Hall of Fame weekend down in Las Vegas, and that's where we commune to get together and just like celebrate our legends, the women and men who came before us and paved the way for us.
Okay.
And women in their 80s are still performing.
Oh,
and
how beautiful.
It is the most beautiful thing, and it's the most touching, and just your heart just like overflows with their continued passion about this art form.
I love that. Wow. Well, it's not too late for me. It's just I have too many other irons in the fire. That's what it is, because if I had time, I'd also do roller derby.
That's funny, because when I first started doing burlesque I started 8 years ago. And when I first started, there were about a dozen performers in town. And now there are countless performers in Portland and throughout the United States. But my daughter was not even 2 years old. And I was stuck in that rut of, okay, this is it. I'm a mom. This is my identity now. And I'm just like, there's got to be something that's just for me.
Yes.
That's me based. And I'm like, roller derby. I'm totally going to do roller derby. But I'm like, oh, there's rules and I bruise easily. And so I kept thinking. And then it was a cold December afternoon. And I was sitting on the couch. And I swear to God, Jackie, out of the ether, I heard this word, burlesque. And I'm like, what?
What?
And I'm like, okay. I had never seen a burlesque show. I had no idea what burlesque was about.
So it literally came out of the consciousness stream and planted itself in you.
It did. And then all of a sudden,
wow,
I was like, okay, Portland Burlesque. And I was looking up Portland performers, looking up if there was a school of any kind. And I mean, I contacted a local performer on MySpace, because that was the time then. And I started a conversation with her, and she had been thinking about starting a school here in Portland, and I encouraged her to do that because, I mean, where do you start when you do this? It's like, I'm not just going to show up in fishnets and heels and say, "Put me on stage."
You could have.
I could, but I need to know the fundamentals. I
Yes.
need to know the basics,
Yeah.
and so
Let's just say some people would do that.
some people.
I'd be a little bit more prepared myself.
I would like to be more prepared.
Wow. The Northwest burlesque is just so rich. The more I learn about it, it's such an amazing culture that the more I want to be involved in it somehow, even just as a patron.
Yes, please
Of course,
support
yes.
your local live entertainment. And there's such a variety of performers in this
Isn't that
town.
something?
Just all genders, all body types, all styles of burlesque. And again, with the horror burlesque, I don't think there's a neo burlesque performer out there who doesn't have a horror act, because again, that's it's these things that we grew up on, and these things that are intrinsic to our culture. So there's always going to be horror-based acts. There's always going to be just pop culture acts. I'm doing a show coming up on June 30th at Crush Bar in Portland, Oregon. It's based on PBS.
Oh, really?
Yes, and this is. I have so many PBS-based acts that I had to narrow it down to 2.
Oh, I know of one that you're really well known for, but you go ahead.
I am really well known for my Bob Ross act.
Yes.
I also will be bringing my Mr. McFeely act. I have a Yips act from Sesame Street, the aliens from Sesame Street that I do with Lascivious Lenore. And I also have...
I may have I seen that? Where did I... Huh.
But I believe one of the most famous acts that I'm known for, famous acts like I'm some big deal.
You are. You are. That's why I'm talking to you.
I do a lamb chop act.
Oh, no.
But here's the thing. Again, with those zigs, when you thought they were going to zag, it's a lamb chop act that turns into a Silence of the Lambs act.
Love it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's like all of a sudden I'm coming out dressed as lamb chop, and we're all happy and we're singing the lamb chops play along. And then the music turns to Goodbye Horses, and it gets real dark and real serious. And then I kind of interpret that basement scene, the famous basement scene in Silence of the Lambs, where he's doing his robe dance to Silence of the Lambs. Anyway, it ends in me rubbing lotion all over myself, and it's a big hit.
Of course it is. Wow.
But again, it's that creative process. When I'm creating an act, I put myself in the audience, and I'm like, what do I want to see? As an audience member, what do I want to see happen?
Yeah.
It's creating and engineering an act. Like with my Manos act, I wanted to do the big red hands on the robe, and I'm like, how am I going to do that when I'm dressed like Torgo?
Right.
And so
That was brilliant, by the way.
I did the arm veils that unfurled when I took Torgo's shirt off.
And that was a twist, because it was totally unexpected, and it was just this wonderful finish.
Yes, and that's
Yes.
so it's engineering and building an act from scratch, from these neurons popping off in my head to putting it on stage and people losing their mind over it.
Yeah. Yeah, these things are so well thought out. I mean, it's really a performance. I mean, a lot of energy and time goes into these things, not just in the visuals, but the whole movements, everything. It's work that people who don't understand burlesque or don't know about it, it's not people just getting up on stage and moving around.
Well, I've never called myself a burlesque dancer. I've never had a dance class in my life, but I map my movements. It's like, okay, here I'm going to be at this point on the stage, and I'm going to remove this article of clothing, and then I'm going to move here. My favorite quote by me is,
And how do you spell that?
my favorite quote by me is that I may not be the most statuesque. I may lack a fair amount of grace. I may not even have the most sparkle, but I'm the one you're going to remember.
That's for damn sure. I mean, it really is. And the first show that I went to, it was in Seattle, actually, because Rachel Jackson was doing some puppetry for it.
Yeah, we love Rachel.
Yeah, the Labyrinth show, David Bowie, and just blew me away. It was just amazing.
Yeah. Was it a Muppet-themed show?
Yes.
That's where you saw the Yips. I was in that show.
No, I've seen two shows. I saw her do the one, that's where I saw them. I knew I'd seen that act.
Yeah.
So, but we didn't meet that time.
No, we didn't.
So we met for the first time, 2.5 years ago?
Yeah, for the Mystery Science Theater show.
Theater show. And so I want to this is a good time to segue that you invited me a while back, but swore me to silence. And that's not been easy to do. I'm not a person you can silence, especially when I get really excited about something. And I've been so excited about this. And before I turned on this recording device, you said that this is the time to make the announcement. So,
okay, so Jackie has graciously accepted my invitation to host the next Mystery Science Theater 3000 burlesque show called MST's 3K. It is going to be Friday, August 17th at Crush Bar in Portland, Oregon. That is on Southeast 14th and Morrison. There will be all sorts of links and events on Facebook, and I'm sure Jackie will be sharing those with you. But no, when I thought about doing this show again, I'm just like, I wonder if Jackie would like to host. Because, honestly, you are Mystery Science Theater royalty.
Aww.
To so many people. And I couldn't think of a better host. And so we're going to have a really great lineup. I'm going to be bringing Rousdower again. I'm going to be bringing the Manos Act again.
Nice.
We're going to have some new performers that we didn't have last time. We're going to be performing to some of our favorite cheesy movies and some of our favorite mads. And I'm super excited, and it's going to be a really fun time. So hopefully, if you guys listening are in the Portland area, we would love to have you come by and see what burlesque is about.
Yes, yeah. Come see me, come see Mona, come see the whole cast. I've seen some of these acts. I look forward to seeing some different ones. And oh gosh, I'm just so excited about this. Like I said, if I was younger, and live closer to a place where this is available. I mean, honestly, I live in a town of 1,000 people at the end of the road, and I don't see us doing burlesque in our local tavern.
Well, why not? Why don't you?
We could.
Why don't you create a show? And contact some of us performers. We will drive out there and put on one hell of a show for the people in your town.
Oh man, you just planted a seed. Okay.
I will plant that seed.
Oh my
you
goodness.
sow that seed, and we will reap the benefits of that seed.
Okay, well, it's in my head now.
Give me a stage and a spotlight. I got a sound guy right over there.
Okay. Oh Lord. Okay. All right. Well, we'll. That's another discussion.
You know, Miss Thrustmore is going to be down for that. I'm going to be down for that. We'll get so many performers.
Okay.
We'll take over the town for the night and show them a good time.
Holy cow. Yeah, then I'll be really popular. I'm not sure I want that kind of popularity, but maybe I do. We'll see. But it's so great visiting with you and talking with you today, and I'm very excited for the show in August. Any links we'll be putting on the Facebook page to shows and ways to connect with you and see the things that you're doing.
Yeah, I'm the manager of Charm and Glamour Productions.
Okay.
You can find me on Facebook there. You can also find me as Mona de Plume on Facebook. I'm not going to guarantee any friend requests, but you know,
We can check you out.
you can check me out,
That's right.
see what I do.
Yeah, that's great. Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for today, and we'll be talking. I'll be seeing you soon.
Awesome, thank you.
So next we're moving on to our ring finger. And these are things that we love in burlesque. Rachel, let's start with you today. Tell us something you just love about burlesque, a dancer or a show.
So for me, I have to say I love the entire Pacific Northwest nerdlesque movement in its entirety. And for people who don't know what that is, that's basically up here in the northwest corner of the country. A lot of burlesque dancers are also into nerd things. They're into the works of Joss Whedon. They're into Game of Thrones. They're into Harry Potter. And they've taken all of these loves and combined them with their love of burlesque. And that would be enough for me, even if it stopped there. But what I especially love is that it doesn't. What they also do is that they use their sexy glitter powers to question authority and question things that are wrong with our world. So the Pacific Northwest Nerdlesque tribe not only has combined everything they love, but they also are very socially aware, and they use their art to make you question things like, why weren't there more Asian characters in Firefly, like with lines and stuff? And, you know, why is there so much misogyny in something else? And they're using all of their powers to try to make the world a better place, which I just respect the heck out of them for. If you can be talented as heck, entertaining, sexy, empowered, and using that as a force for active good, that's why I love them. That's why I continue to come to their shows and perform alongside them when asked.
Wow, very well said.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Yeah. Tanya.
Well, I definitely agree with Rachel. I wanted to talk a little bit about a burlesque performer who I adore is Tristan Risk, or Little Miss Risk. She's from Vancouver, and I believe she's actually retiring soon from burlesque, but she's been doing it for many, many years. And she also does, like tricks. She does snake dances and sword swallowing, stuff like that. And she's just an all-around performer. She was in American Mary, and I actually got to work with her. I adore her as a person, too. She's amazing. I got to work with her on Just a Prick, the PSA that Michelle Nesk and I did. And also you guys were also involved in that. The thing I like about her, she is very much about empowerment and very much about, standing up for the whole idea of just because I'm sexy or you think I'm sexy doesn't mean you have access to me, kind of thing. And I'm not going to stop being who I am just because I'm afraid of that. That's sort of her attitude. And, she writes a blog, and she's done, I believe it's German Penthouse. But yeah, just the whole thing she stands for, and also she's a great person. So I think she does have, I know she has pictures, and I think she does a video online too. And she's in a lot of movies. So Tristan Risk, look her up. She's amazing.
Wow. Yeah. I haven't seen her perform, but I do like her in your film, Just a Prick. And I totally agree with Rachel too. I love the Northwest. I love that nerd factor. And I would say that most of the shows I've been to have definitely had that. The Labyrinth show, David Bowie show. And the last one that I went to was that MST themed show at Crush in Portland 2 years ago. God, that's too long ago. I need to go again. I love burlesque, but it was just sexy and adorable as hell. You know, these these women dressing up in these characters. One, I believe, was dressed as Crow. And then of course Mona de Plume as Torgo and Rosdower, and with finalizing with a master's robe kind of wings thing
Wow.
and pasties. It was just incredible. But I love that too. But my thing today is the MST show. I just thought that was so great, and the talent and the effort. Oh my God! And the costuming alone. These women aren't making a bunch of money here. They're not making anything. Probably a lot of them, you know, in terms of making a living. It's for the love of it and their passion for this, and it's the empowerment is mind blowing to me. If I were younger, I would totally do it. And that's it for today. We're going to finish off here with our little pinky finger and a radia. And beyond that, we've had a great show today. This was fun. I love talking burlesque. I love supporting these people. And if you haven't ever been, you got to get yourself to a show.
Hi, I'm here with the radio today for our Pinky section, which is so fun.
Wait, what?
Hey, Pinky, we're the Jackie's Hand of Horror, and you are the Pinky finger.
I do not get that, but that is weird.
Which is totally cool. I like it. So today, we're talking about dance.
What's dancing?
You know what dancing is, right?
Just joking, I know what it is.
Yeah. Do you like to dance?
Yes.
Do you? What kind of dance do you like to do?
I have no clue.
So, like, what kinds of music do you like? Do you have a certain song or...
I do have some songs trapped in my head and I can't get out.
Can you think of the names of any of them?
Well, I make some up, like, I dance in my head, I don't know what comes to my eye.
Ooh, I like that.
My eye doesn't think, but my head does think.
Wow, so you're
My
not...
eye doesn't, but my head does think.
So you're not only dancing, but you're creating your own music.
Yeah. Like this stream in this bubble, it goes up and down,
Yeah.
and it doesn't think what the eye sees. What it
Wow.
sees.
So we're...
So you see the soap.
I see the
But
soap in this
it's
bubble.
not soap.
This so she's holding what is this? It's a bubble wand, right?
Yeah.
And you're
So you see
spinning
the soap.
around.
But the clear stuff you can't see exactly, right?
Right.
When this it looks like the soap is just floating, right?
Yes.
When you twirl it around, the bubbles get higher and higher.
Yeah. So that's wow. You're deep, kid. So you golly, you remind me so much of myself when I was young.
The
Whew.
eye comes to the head, but the head doesn't come to the eye.
Wow.
I'm sorry. We're just getting so excited.
Okay, so let's move on just for a minute. You and I are going to have a private... Oh, here comes your brother running in here.
No.
Okay, so my next question is, have you ever heard the phrase, dance like no one is watching?
Yes, but only one time. Just
And
once.
what do you think that means? Just think about it just for a sec. What does that mean to you? Dance like no one is watching.
You're dancing to yourself?
Exactly. And the cool thing is, at your age, kids do that. They dance for themselves. But when you get older, you get self-conscious and you start worrying about what people think, and I think that's a big mistake.
Yeah.
I hope that you always dance like no one is watching. I wish my audio audience could see you dancing right now.
No, 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 no.
Oh,
Never.
yeah. Well, I love you so much. You're such an amazing.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you guys know what strange or danger is, though?
That's our next episode. So we're not going there yet. Okay. You're reading ahead, my darling.
Yeah.
I love you so much.
I'm ahead of everyone.
Okay, baby. Well, thank you for joining us once again on Jackie's Hand of Horror. We've had another great episode here with my team, with Nudia,
Hello, everybody.
with Tanya,
This is Tanya.
Rachel,
Hi.
and myself, and our tech support, Quinn and Natalie, and the rest of the crew at the Revival League podcast.